Hey, Golfaholics, we are here at Boyne Resort in beautiful, near outside of Petoskey, Michigan, near Harbor Springs. We are really happy to have the president and CEO of Boyne Resorts, Stephen Kircher, with us today. Stephen, welcome to Back Nine Report TV.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
We have been able to come up here over the last few years. Your director of marketing guy, Ken Griffin, is kind enough to invite us up every once in a while to come and see these beautiful properties up here. And we are always so impressed with what you've done. Your father started the company in 1947. Mm-hmm. You have continued on. The company is still privately owned. Third largest entertainment resort company in the country, the largest privately owned. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, in the ski space especially, we're third in size. Absolutely.
You're spread all the way from Canada to Maine. You're in Vancouver. You're in Montana, Washington, Utah, New Hampshire, Maine, Tennessee. You pretty much got the country covered.
Indeed. Michigan is where it all started, though, and we're proud of what we're doing here. And the future for the resorts here in Michigan are really exciting.
Talking about getting started, the ski resort started in 47. Your father saw an opportunity maybe in golf in the late 40s. Built the first little 9-hole course in 52 out at the mountain, and you built this heather course right behind us. You can see number 18 with the famous pond for the second shot there in the 60s.
Mid-60s, yeah. When Boyne Highlands was imagined, golf was part of that. And the same friend that actually talked Dad into building the par 3 first course at Boyne Mountain talked him into hiring Robert Trent Jones at the time. Dad wasn't much of a golfer and asked Bill Harbour, who's from Detroit, said, who's the best architect in the world right now? And Bill said, Robert Trent Jones. He had just redone Oakland Hills for the Open. I think Hogan had won recently, and decided that he wanted to hire Trent Jones, and he did, and the rest is history with the Heather.
The Heather here, National Course of the Year in 2019. A lot of honors over the years. You added the Ross course, the Hills course, the Moore here at this property at the Highlands. So you got 4 great golf courses. You've got the Swiss Chalet Hotel in the background over here, a ski hill here. How many runs are here at this location?
Oh, in the 40s, I think we've got runs, and obviously Boyne Highlands. Actually, it was an English country estate was the vision for it, and much like Glen Eagles, I guess, and that's some of the things we're trying to bring back to Boyne Highlands, really elevate the experience, and the golf has been great all the way through, and we're excited about where the hotel is going in the next few years too.
That brings up another point. You've got 3 locations here. So here at the Highlands, there's the harbor, Bay Harbor, and then there's the mountain, and you've got hotels at each location. You're doing a big renovation here to this hotel, this resort in the near future, right?
Well, Boyne Highlands, which will become the Highlands, we expect, is going through a transformation, probably more than a renovation. It's going to be a transformation of what it is, and it's going to harken back to the original concept of that English country estate. Best I can describe, if people have been to Blackberry Farm or Blackberry Mountain and Pinehurst, it's kind of a combination in the summertime of extraordinary hospitality, culinary. We're going to have a world-class spa, destination spa that'll be different than anything else in North America. Very European, and with the golf we really think we can create a national destination here at a level that hasn't been done in Michigan yet. So we're excited about where the Highlands could go, and the zip code here in Harbor Springs is one of the great summer destinations in America, and we need a resort that really lives up to that reputation.
Yeah, I know. People talk about Pinehurst. They talk about the Greenbrier. They talk about Pebble Beach. But right here in northern Michigan, you've got one of the best resorts you can find anywhere in the country with 10 different golf courses.
10 great golf courses. You've got fantastic resort towns. You've got the water, the beaches, the art galleries, all kinds of agricultural tourism. Mackinac is just up the road. I mean, it's in the center of so many great things to experience, beyond just the golf. And I think that's what's going to separate this destination from some of the others. And I mentioned, the culinary. It's going to be a real focus in creating, locally driven culinary experiences that are unique to this region. And and the spa and the elevation of the hotel and the guest rooms are going to be second to none in the whole region. So we're really excited about where this can go.
Let's talk just a little bit about you. Of course, you grew up around the facilities, working here as a kid, I'm sure, in the summers and the winters, working the ski lifts and all the things that are involved. You went to Northwestern. You went to Michigan State, MBA from Boston University. You come back in a bit.
Just to make sure.
Okay, BC.
But really good background checking.
Okay, sorry about that. And then you come back to the business in 88. One of the really first big projects you were involved in was the Bay Harbor project.
It was, and that was something we kind of stumbled into. We had a vision to have a beachhead on Lake Michigan. We had looked at a hotel called the Harbor Inn that had been imploded the year before Bay Harbor started. And we were really excited about the opportunity to be involved in something on the lakefront in Lake Michigan, and part of that transformation of what became Bay Harbor. And that happened in the mid 90s, and we were able to build a hotel there that really set a new standard for hospitality on the lake, and then really also had the harkening back to the history of those great hotels that we had here in northern Michigan from the late 1800s to the mid century. And Bay Harbor kind of rekindled those aspects of that DNA, and the golf was harkened to Pebble Beach. It was the longest coastline, I think, of any golf course in the U.S. at the time, and obviously, with the resort towns of Petoskey Harbor and Charlevoix and Boyne City, it's in the center of all that action. So we're pretty proud of that. And again, the Highlands and the Mountain are obviously more diverse in terms of winter operations. So we're excited about where these resorts can go and become more important as a destination in the Midwest.
I had not spent much time at the mountain, actually, over the years. I drive by there all the time, and we had an opportunity to view that property. Ken was kind enough to show us around. We played a little golf over there. Really impressed with the mountain as a family-oriented resort.
Yeah, it's very active, very family. It's energized. It's got its own little village that energizes the center of the activity, both winter and summer. And obviously, golf is pretty unique and spectacular. It was the first golf course. The Alpine was the first golf course designed for a golf cart in 1968 or 67, I believe. That was when golf carts were just starting to become part of the mix. And so you experience the mountain, that big vistas, and certainly the architecture there is a sense of place. That's the Swiss place, Swiss Austrian. And it transports you to a different place in North America, and hopefully a place of refuge and for families. And it is pretty active too in the wintertime. So beyond families, there's some pretty fun stuff that goes there.
Yeah, I've got part of my family loves to come up there and ski every winter. Matter of fact, they went out to Big Sky last winter, spent some time out, loved it out there. They're going to go back out there. Let's talk just a minute about the Alpine and Monument courses there at the mountain. You talked about it was the first golf course that required that you take a golf cart. So there's a 1.2 mile ride from the clubhouse all the way up the mountain to start, and you play your way down the mountain. Both first tees are at the top.
Both first tees at the top. And it really forced the cards of having to have a cart. You couldn't walk to the first tee. And at that time in 1968, that was almost sacrilegious to create a golf course like that. People thought they were crazy. And, but soon golf carts became obviously a critical part of the experience, and it allowed you to play down the mountain instead of routing the course up and down. You're able to play kind of drifting down across that glacial sand dune that the Boyne Mountain is, and finishes down by the water at Deer Lake, and it creates a much more, I think, friendly experience when you're hitting off these high tees and seeing your ball fly that much farther. Oh,
we gotta love elevated tees. You gotta love that. Everybody Let's talk about one more thing. The chairlift industry. You guys, your dad especially, was an innovator in chairlift business.
He was, and actually, Boyne Highlands, we're standing here where the first triple chair in the world was installed. There were two of them back in 1963, 64, and we've been pushing the envelope. I think it was the first triple chair and the first bubble chair, actually, in 1964. And Dad was a guy that always kind of changed the way things were thought about, like that golf cart idea to the first tee. He looked at chairlifts and said, why can't we put 4 people? Why can't we put 6? And we recently at Big Sky put 8 people on a chair with Doppelmayr, our partner. And it's pretty fun to see that transformation technology and people don't like to sit in lift lines. They like to ski. So chairlift capacity was always important to creating a better experience for the customer. That was where it really focused on. And we've been innovative and certainly taken some from first steps over the course of the last 71 years, and we look forward to keep doing that.
Let's talk just a minute, too, about Gatlinburg. It ties in with the chairlift idea. A gentleman came to your dad. He said, I got property at the bottom of the mountain. I got property at the top of the mountain. I know people would want to go up there, take a look around, and we can sell them some stuff when they're up there, but I need to get them up there. Can you help me?
Yeah, that was probably one of the most fortuitous calls ever. And then the other fortuitous part is my grandfather, my dad's dad, forced my dad to do it. He went down there and saw the opportunity firsthand and came back and said, Everett, you're going to do this. And Dad's like, no, we don't want to do something in Tennessee. And Grandpa said, you're doing it or I'm doing it. We're doing this. And it without a doubt was the tipping point for us as a company. It gave us summer cash flow in lean years, and it allowed us to do things that other people wouldn't otherwise have done in this market. And to some degree, it was the engine that made Boyne Resorts go during those early years for sure. And it's certainly very successful still.
Your father was the innovator. He was obviously a pretty solid businessman to make all this happen, from starting out a little 40-acre patch out at Boyne Mountain. But you've taken over, and now with the challenges of today's business world and the financing necessary to run 12 resorts and 9 ski runs and 13 golf courses spread across the North America, that gets to be a pretty big job.
Well, it is. Luckily, we've got great, leadership across the company, and, we're 10,000 people at our peak employment. So it takes a lot of people in a lot of key positions to make that work. And, I just happen to be carrying the baton at the top of the stack, I guess, to help make it go. We've had a really wonderful 10-year run here. And, certainly we think that, we're in a good position to come out of this current challenge in a much stronger position than others, and hopefully continue the legacy that, this last 7 decades has provided for us. So we're excited about the future. As I mentioned, the transformation of the Highlands, and each resort has its own plan, of reinvention and, really taking it to the next level. So we're excited about that. And
just one last question along that line. With all the stuff that you've done over the years and keep adding and refining and making it better. And I should say, this is first class, folks, all the way here. It's all top shelf. You will not be disappointed in any service, in any of the dining facilities, in any of the accommodations. They make sure that everything is top shelf here. What's next? What can we look forward to in a year or 2 years to be coming back to check out this brand new?
Well, we think the best is yet to come. The Highlands, the main hotel, which was built in the early 60s, is going to go through a massive reinvention. And it's ongoing right now. It'll be half completed by next June, and then we're going to get after the center section. We had a fire here about 5-6 years ago that we're still dealing with the remnants of. So there's going to be a massive rework of the core facilities. Where we're standing is going to be a new restaurant starting in about 14 months, September of 2021. That'll help support the F&B experience here while we're going through a transformation of the culinary in the main hotel. The lift system is going to go through a massive reinvention. We'll have some of the first next generation technologies here in the Midwest at Boyne Highlands in the coming years. So as we head towards 23, 24, 25, Boyne Highlands is going to see significant elevation and improvements. But, the core of what it is always going to be here. And the golf is the backbone to that. And the quality of the experience, we've said for many years, the quality of the golf is at an international and national level. We've just got to get the accommodations and the culinary up to that next level. We've been good. We haven't been great. And we're going to really take it to the next level.
That is your motto, actually, I think, from the stockholders meeting or annual meeting, good to great.
Yeah, we're on a journey and just enjoying that journey.
Well, we always appreciate the chance to come up here. Boyne Highlands, Boyne Mountain, the Bay Harbor, Inn at Bay Harbor. It's all fantastic, folks. If it's summertime in northern Michigan, there's nothing better. And Stephen, again, thank you so much for taking a few minutes and chatting with us.
Thank you, Fred. Appreciate it.